All right, all right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Token Metrics live stream. I'm Ian Bellina, your host, being joined by Bill Noble. Hey, Bill, how are you?
Ian, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Awesome, awesome. So we're hoping everybody's having a great weekend. Today, we're going to do a very, very special show. We'll have Bill do a deep dive into how he leverages token metrics while doing his TA. So Bill will have a deep dive for about probably half an hour, really showing how a professional trader can leverage token metrics platform in their investment research. So we think this is going to be something very, very valuable. Stay tuned. This is going out to YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, Facebook. Also gets turned into a podcast as well. Be sure to subscribe to the Tokenmetrics podcast by going to tokenmetrics.com/podcast. All right. So first up, let's see who was first on the show. Hey, Crypto Stanley, welcome. Thanks for joining. It's a pleasure. And seems I'm having some issue getting the comments. Anyway, let's hop straight into the intros. So first up, Bill, tell the whole world who Bill Noble is.
All right. So Bill Noble, I'm a technical analyst by trade. I've been doing this since I was 18, back when Iraq invaded Kuwait in 1991. I've done work for Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, where I was sort of the expert on highly volatile markets and volatile situations. It made a natural migration over to crypto. Okay, so moving over to crypto with that skill set was pretty easy. I've worked with Charlie Shrem, and my primary skill set is to take a large amount of information and distill it down into something that people can use and consume, like say on their phone, or really understand complicated concepts simply. So that's who I am.
All right, thank you, Bill. And for those joining, I'm Ian Bellina. I'm the founder of Token Metrics, which is a crypto investment research platform that leverages machine learning so you don't have to, and helps you become a better crypto investor. I'm also a partner at 100x Advisors, which is a blockchain investment and advisory firm. Check us out at 100xadvisors.com. Prior to that, I worked 4 years at IBM as an analytics executive at IBM. Also worked at Deloitte Consulting. And you guys may know me from creating content in the crypto space via Diary of a Made Man, and now also via Token Metrics. All right, so the first question of the day, this goes out to our entire audience. How many years have you been in crypto? So tell us, have you been in crypto for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5+ years? Or are you a crypto OG and you've been in the space for 10 years? So go to menti.com, that's MENTI.com, and use the code 561936, that's 561936, and tell us, have you been in crypto for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5+ years, or 10 years? Also be sure to tell us in the comments down below. Bill, how about you? How many years have you been involved in crypto?
My first phone call from an ex-Goldman Sachs colleague was May of 2017. So it was kind of like Bitcoin 4,500. And then I went over to the Texas Bitcoin convention in Austin, and I was like, I've been delivered. I found my thing.
Nice, nice. For me, I've been in crypto for about 3 years. I joined in October 2016. A friend of mine who I knew back from my college days in DC said, hey, Ian, I see what IBM is doing in the blockchain space. Can you put me in touch with the IBM director of blockchain? So I began to qualify him and said, why do you care about this blockchain Bitcoin thing? Then he told me he was a Bitcoin developer. He was launching a crypto fund. And I said, you're in your late 20s launching a crypto fund with no Wall Street experience? So that just baffled me. That really piqued my curiosity. And then I asked him I was pretty direct. I said, how much money are you making? And he told me he was making 200% just hodling Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that beat the returns I was getting with the stock market. So as somebody who liked investing and making money, it was a no-brainer. I said, hey, let me try this out. Let me just put in a small amount of money and see if this is really legit. And the rest is history. Here I am now, 3 years deep in crypto. I've been full-time in crypto for the last 2 years. 1 year later, I quit my job at IBM to go full-time into crypto and haven't really looked back ever since then. This is the future. This is where finance, this is where global finance is going. So I pride myself in being somebody who can spot trends early. I was able to spot the social media trend before it went mainstream. And I was able to spot the data science and analytics trend before it really went mainstream, and built a career in IBM doing analytics. And now I'm going out on a limb and saying blockchain is the future. I think all of us are. If you're watching this live stream, you basically think blockchain is the future. And I think all of us will be in good company in 5 years, 10 years. Long-term, just looking purely long-term, I think all of us will be in great company. All right. With that being said, thank you, Daniel, for watching the live stream. Thanks for the kind words. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Crypto San. Hey, Crypto Hi, what's up? All right. So Bill, let's hop straight into it. So tell us, how do you leverage token metrics to do your research?
Okay, Ian, great question. So I've discovered the price prediction tool, okay? And I'm leveraging this. I'll explain how. So we're going to pull up Ethereum, and this is like the Ethereum main page. And then over here, I click price predictions. Okay. So what we'll see when I scroll down here is on this last line that says Jan 2020, Jan 7th. So our machines are essentially saying that, you know, Ethereum could drop to 122, which is, you know, that's more than 10% from where it is right now, right? So how am I using this? Well, in equities, when it was all done by humans, we would rely on an analyst to come up with, say, a 3 or 6 month price target. All right. Now, just because it's a 3 or 6 month price target, that doesn't mean the market, especially if the market was really moving up or down, the market couldn't just go there. Right. So what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, what is the token metrics model machine learning system telling me about Ethereum? Is it bullish or bearish? Well, it seems it's pretty bearish. Okay. And I then took a look. I said, all right, let's expand my horizons and let's take a look at Litecoin. Okay. And let's see what Litecoin's price prediction looks like. So Litecoin's hanging out around 42 right now. And if you look at this, it's saying Litecoin could go to 34. Okay. Now that's 20%. Okay. Now that may not be a lot in crypto, but it sure is in every other market. And I know nobody wants a 20% haircut on their portfolio headed into the holidays. Okay. So I took a look at these facts and I said, okay, let's go over and now let's look at the charts. Let's just do some good old fashioned human analysis, knowing that machine learning models are negative. All right. And I came up with this very old school idea, right? So Bitcoin has been in a range and is boring everyone to tears, right? And it's been that way for about 19 days. So there was a thrust higher, okay, right here. And then for 19 days, we've been sitting here. And then I went back and I just looked at previous ranges or previous boring periods. And as it turns out, okay, the last 2 times, you can see it right here on the screen, you know, you had about 19, 20 days of either range trading or this like slow bleed lower, and then it accelerated. Okay. So the human eye picked up something and the machine eye picked up something. So what's the conclusion? Well, the conclusion is the best case scenario, I think, is for a range trade. In other words, that this pattern doesn't fulfill itself and we just sit here. But the real point is that, you know, the worst may be over in alts. Okay. But that doesn't mean these bigger coins can't have kind of a heave ho at the end of the year as well. All right. So let's go to Ethereum. Let me get over there. Okay, so Ethereum, very much the same thing. Okay, you have these black arrows here and two 19-day boxes. All right. So we get this feeling again from the machines and from the human eye that you have to protect yourself, or it will be prudent to protect yourself, or prudent to protect capital, so that if there is a drop implied by the models or implied by the human analysis, that you would have capital ready to deploy. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, okay, so what's the catalyst? Is there a negative catalyst out there? Well, we're crypto people, right? So we don't lay awake at night trying to dream up negative catalysts, because we know we can get wrecked at any time. Now, if pressed on the issue, I would tell you that the Bitcoin Cash chart is becoming a monster, right? There's a head and shoulders top on the left-hand side of the page here. And then everything since October is forming another head and shoulders top. So what does that mean in English? In English, it means if Bitcoin Cash starts to go down, it could accelerate lower at like an increasing rate, right? So it could just keep going lower and lower and lower in a faster way, okay? Now, it hasn't done anything, so there's no panic right now. But if you look at the big coins, you look at Bitcoin slipping the way it is, I'm happy it didn't go through 7,000. I was ready to talk about that on the show. I'm happy it didn't. But I think you have to be prepared for that to happen. So in sum, I took the Token Metrics machine learning tool, okay? I got a general idea about the future and I applied it to human analysis. Now, one step further. Let's say I wake up in a week and the market has not gone down, and maybe Token Metrics' price targets. Remember, I was talking about the analyst price targets. Say Token Metrics price targets start flattening out. They get less bearish, okay? I'm going to be keeping an eye out either for this range to continue or for a possible reversal higher, all right? So I'm following, in some ways, the machines. I'm leveraging the machine learning to do smarter analysis. And this fits with a blog post that was put up on Zero Hedge from a Morgan Stanley conference, that 2/3 of big institutional investors are leveraging machine learning and AI to make decisions to have their portfolios outperform their peers. So, as Ian noted, he's ahead of the game. He's put these tools in my hands, put it together with a history of looking at markets, and you can put the Token Metrics tools together with what you know, because technical analysts are humble people. And I don't believe that I'm smarter or know more than, a technical trader that maybe read a book a month ago and has been practicing. We are all students of the market, and the market is our teacher. Okay. So Token Metrics is kind of like the secret sauce for your crypto trading, right? And I'm leveraging it. And, I think in crypto, capital, keep powder dry for 2020. So that's it in a nutshell. I don't know if that was 30 minutes, but, hopefully our audience got that one.
Yeah, well said, well said. If anybody has any questions, just type them in the comments below, and we'll have Bill answer those questions. Okay, let me take a look and see if we have any questions. Okay, somebody was asking what we think about Ethereum. We basically answered our thoughts on Ethereum. We're pretty much, from a TA perspective and also from Token Metrics, we think it can go lower, as much as 10% lower. That's correct, Bill?
Yes.
Now, this is short term. Long term, the fundamentals are still great on Ethereum. But we're saying short term, to end the year, we think it's better to be very, very cautious, because for those who are subscribed to Token Metrics, we sent out a premium newsletter this last week, basically stating our case on crypto for this month, and basically telling people that, hey, you know what? It's not looking good. Be cautious. Don't FOMO into anything. Be cautious. Anything to add to that, Bill?
Well, one of the toughest trades to do is to wait, right? It's easy to just like push that green buy button or that red sell button and get involved. It's easy to do that. It's hard to wait, and it's hard to be cautious in crypto when you think decentralized finance is the future, right? We know it is, but institutions are involved and they may have gotten hurt. So we want to see if that's going to impact the overall market.
Okay. Now let's kind of take a macroeconomics point of view. How do you feel about the global economy as we close out 2019 and this decade?
Okay, that's a good question. I'm ready for that. Okay. So this is kind of like Bitcoin's nemesis in a way. This is a chart. This is a daily chart of QQQ. Okay. So I'm actually being pretty bold and I'm calling this legacy tech. And you're probably wondering, gee, why doesn't my crypto portfolio look like this? Right. Like what is going on here? Okay. So from a macroeconomic point of view, it's not a secret. Central banks are printing 100 billion a month and pushing it into the market to keep risk assets like stocks moving higher, period. I saw some research this week that said, stocks are getting really expensive. They're not close to the 1929 top, but they're approaching the most expensive they've ever been since 1929. Expensive is sort of a statistical measure unique to equities. Let's not go into that. But so this is being forced higher by central banks printing fiat. Now, how long can central banks continue to just run the printing press and force markets higher to try to create an illusion that the economy is doing well? I don't know. Right up until there's a possible political shift in the United States. Right now, the global macro idea is that chasing equities and don't laugh, okay, chasing fiat, okay? So they had a good election over in the UK, okay? And guess what? Sterling, right? The pound versus the dollar is moving. This looks like an altcoin. If I showed you this, you'd be like, what is this? Oh, yeah, it's the altcoin of the month. No, it's one of the biggest currencies on the planet. So all the big money is chasing all these hot trades, stocks, sterling, right? And okay, that's fine for now, right? I'm glad that the UK didn't sink into the ocean over Brexit or the election that they had. But somebody's going to wake up next year and go, you know what? We have an election coming up, and this mirage that's being created by the printing press, I don't know if I believe in this anymore. Now, is that going to happen tomorrow? Probably not. That's why we're cautious on Bitcoin. The moment it is, you'll know, right? Like, I will be the happiest guy in the whole world to wake up tomorrow and see Bitcoin at 8,000. I would love to be wrong. Okay. But the fact is, from a macro point of view, the printing press and equities moving higher and other trades in what they call the macro universe, like fiat currencies, it's like distracting attention away from crypto, right? So that's the short-term problem. Long-term, how long can they keep this up, right? I mean, I guess they can continue to print. This is the S&P futures contract. How long can they do this? I don't know, but it's got to end at some point. And we're constructive crypto long-term. And when everybody looks at the legacy system and goes, you know what? I don't think I'm doing this. It's like, I don't think I want to put money into the stock market when it's at its tippy top versus buying a December dip in Bitcoin. So that's how I would round out the the planetary scope for finance.
All right, makes sense. Okay, let's go to our question. Let me pull it up here. So the question was, how many years have you been in crypto? Once again, go to menti.com. That's MENTI.com and use the code 561936. That's 561936. All right, so the winner is 2 years. Wow, so most people have been in crypto for about 2 years, meaning they came in at the peak of the bull market, basically at the top. So that means they've been through some tough times in crypto. But hey, if you've been in the bear market through the tough times and you're still here, I mean, that's definitely a badge of honor in my opinion, because when the good times come, oh man, the life will be good.
Right. Everybody's crypto resume is that they've seen one of the biggest bear markets ever, really.
All right. So next question we have is about Cosmos and Matic Network. So tell us, would you sell Cosmos to buy Matic? I mean, actually, sorry, I think this should be the other way around.
No, it's right. Because Cosmos has been going up and Matic has been going down.
Okay.
So the question is, if you had Cosmos, would you sell it to buy Matic?
Okay, so would you sell Cosmos to buy Matic Network? Let us know by voting. Also tell us in the comments below. Now, what's your take on this, Bill?
Well, my answer to that would be yes. I would take, in other words, if the market has paid you to continue to take profits as the trend goes your way, because Matic was a great lesson of how the whole thing can just disappear in a moment's notice. Okay. So, one of the things that we're doing on the premium site is that we do the chart work for each of these individual coins, right? So, as Cosmos rises, I would take a little money off the table.
What are your top 5 coins going into 2020? Sorry, I don't know. Not sure why. Good question, right? So obviously, okay, there we go.
All right, no problem. Right. So as something like Cosmos would rise, right? Especially since Matic Network, really heaved in a big way, it might make sense to, take a little money off the table in Cosmos and have a little speculative position in Matic.
All right. So here we have a question from Gary Saint Armand. Did you email the newsletter as a PDF or do you access it from the Token Metrics platform? So the newsletter is sent out as an email. This is the premium newsletter. This is only sent out to people who have the hodler plan, the investor plan, and the professional plan. So basically hodler plan and above. If you're on the 14-day free trial, you should get the email as well. So we've sent out about 2 or 3 emails this week. We had one on Friday, which was the Altcoin Friday, and the weekend chart packs, where Bill went through and did TA on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some altcoins like Matic and Cosmos and Neo and VeChain. And then we also had an earlier email earlier in the week where we covered our thoughts and sentiment on the market, where things are going, how we would play the market as professional traders. So far, the feedback has been great on the newsletter. I'm seeing here already in the comments, people love the newsletters. We'll keep those coming. We think by having experts like Bill and our staff being able to send you insights in the market at the right time, that way you have an idea of how to really play the market, whether you're on the sidelines, whether you're invested, whether you're looking to buy the dip. We think having that guidance is powerful because research is crucial. Okay, so let's see here. People are talking about Matic being a huge dump. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a crazy time, dropping 50% in one day. But for those on the premium newsletter, on Friday, a few days before the dump, we did tell people that Matic was a great candidate to take profits. So for those who are on the newsletter, we probably saved them a whole bunch of money. We probably saved them 50% of their money. So we think good research, as we've mentioned before, is priceless. So you can't really put a price tag on great research, because great research, one, saves you money, and two, makes you money. All right. Any comments on that, Bill?
Yeah, it's not. I've been doing this for a long time, and it's not every day that I'm going to tell people to take profits and then 3 days later have the instrument go down 50%. So that doesn't happen every day. But we were fortunate. And I think the overall lesson, it's like, we did a good call, and I agree with you. Research is a very valuable thing. And people aren't used to that, right? Because what happened when everybody started objecting to commissions and fees, you know what banks did? They said, we're getting rid of research. We're not doing it anymore. Okay. And we're taking sort of the other side of the trade, and we're going, you know what? We're going to start doing it in crypto. So he who has the best ideas, or she who has the best ideas, wins. And that's been true at Wall Street since 1900, and it's still true today. So yes, I got a good call. We got a good call on Matic, but the larger point of the person with the best ideas wins.
All right. And speaking of great ideas, let me pull up Token Metrics here. So for those wondering how to join, if you haven't joined for some reason, just go to tokenmetrics.com. This is our website. You can just click sign up here or sign up here. You get 14 days free trial. So 14 days to try Token Metrics, no hassle, no questions asked. And you don't even need to put in a credit card for the basic plan. Now we do have different plans available, but just to kind of give you an overview, this is Token Metrics, the platform. And as Bill said, this is really catered to providing high quality research to investors. So think of this as your starting point to doing any kind of investment research, whether you're looking to find what are the top cryptocurrencies out there right now, or whether you're trying to find the best projects based on fundamentals, based on technology and code reviews, or based on TA. And we factor all this into our analysis. We have human experts, human capital coming in and manually rating all these different cryptocurrencies. We have over 100 cryptocurrencies and growing. And then we're always adding new ones, IEOs, tokens being sent in via our community. People last week told us to take a look at Constellation and DAG and Ultra, because Ultra had a great week this week with a partnership from AMD. And they had one other gaming company, I think Ubisoft as well. So our team is currently doing research on that right now as we speak. So we expect by next week we'll have that. We also did research on Hex. So for those who are curious, just log in and view the report on Hex. We'll be also be doing a full in-depth report. Call it an IEO report or project report on Hex and also on Sovereign. And we'll be emailing those out to people on the premium plan. And people on the hardware plan. On the investor plan, because the investor plan gets access to IEOs. So anybody on the investor plan, this coming week, be on the lookout for an email on our full review and report on Sovereign and Hex. Now, with that being said, let's just kind of quickly do a quick deep dive into Bitcoin. Bitcoin, everything we have on Bitcoin is free to anybody who signs up. So Bitcoin technology and fundamentals are always the same, kind of following the sentiment we have from earlier in the show. We're pretty neutral, pretty cautious right now from a TA perspective. Well, actually, maybe bearish is a better way of putting it for this month. I mean, it's not looking so good, but 2020 we're optimistic when it comes to Bitcoin. Kind of going here to the price predictions. We think this month the price of Bitcoin is going to go down. Now, obviously, machines and data and all the software is not always perfect, but we think this can really be a good starting point to give you an idea of whether or not to go on the sidelines, take profits, or come back in. Now, okay, let me go back to the question we have from our audience. So the question we had was, would you sell Cosmos to buy Matic? It's a tie. Wow. 50-50. Very interesting. Now, Cosmos and Matic both do have good ratings from our team. If we just quickly pull up the ratings here. So Cosmos is somewhere here. Yeah, Cosmos has great fundamentals, great technology. The technicals, they're not doing so well right now. And then Matic was somewhere down here. Matic technology is great. Technical is also not so good. Now, if you want more info, just go search on Tokenmetrics to open up the full report. But Bill, as a trader, what's your take on Cosmos and Matic? You're saying now is a good time to consider looking at the other one?
Right. In other words, if you missed Matic on the way up and you believe in it, because I think it's fair to say we believe in it, then, if you missed it, now would be a good time to sell another crypto and have a small Matic position, right? I think Matic is held, we've done some research on that, and that looks okay for the moment, right? Cosmos, we like that. The trend is up. It never hurts to ring the register as things go up. So that's how I would explain that. And to be honest, I think when I watch you demo the platform, like I'm only beginning to apply the vast universe that you and your guys have developed to what I do, right? I feel like I've walked into you're in you've seen the Library of Congress, maybe, right? It's like walking into like the Library of Congress of crypto on your computer and saying, wow, here's all this information, and then figuring out how you can apply it to your decision making, or you can just go with what the computer says. So I view it like making salad, right? I have the lettuce, and Tokenmetrics provides all the colorful vegetables.
Well said, Bill. Okay, so Crypto Queen Shai is saying, do you think Matic will recover? I mean, so the fundamentals and the technology has not really changed on Matic Network. What has changed is really the market sentiment, and I would say the technicals have changed. So based on Tokenmetrics, the technicals are not so good at the moment, but the fundamentals, Matic is still a great project. If anything, I think now is really a chance to possibly look into getting Matic at a much lower price than before, because before it was definitely, there was too much hype, too much FOMO. But now, if anything, it's more undervalued than before. But that does not mean now is a perfect time to get in. We would definitely say reference Tokenmetrics to help you with your research.
Right. Stay tuned with us and the analyst team on that one.
Yeah. So Bill has been actively sending out essentially alerts via our email newsletter to people, and we think so far it's been working out well. Okay, let's see here if we have any other questions from the audience. Yeah, it seems lots of people are just curious about Matic Network. It seems to have really captured the attention of everybody.
Right. So let's go into psychotherapy mode, if I may.
Okay, go ahead.
So, let's say you FOMO'd into Matic on the way up, and now you're trapped with a loss. So first off, you've got company, because every big trader, everybody, institutions has done this, right? They've woken up one day and their position disappeared. So it's happened to the best, not just to you. And sometimes if it's keeping you up at night, we're happy you've come to us for guidance. But if it's keeping you up at night, you can exit the position, take the loss on your taxes, and come back in 30 days and buy it again, right? This time with perhaps a clear head. So if somebody bought the top in Matic and they're asking me, is Matic going back to where it was before the 50% drop? I would say not right now, right? Not right this second, right? Only because we're in a crypto cautious environment. Could Matic recover? Yes. Cosmos went down a lot and then it's gradually recovered. All right. But the thing is it keeping you up at night? This is where research and ideas come in. If it's keeping you up at night, then I would say change your position so you can clear your head so that when it is time to get involved in everything from Matic to Bitcoin, your head's clear and you're ready to go. So that's your psychotherapy tidbit for the week.
That's great. That's great. We definitely love cryptotherapy, right? Because it's crypto. Crypto is very emotional, even for the best of us. And being able to sometimes just share your thoughts, vent, just kind of let all that emotion out sometimes is very helpful. Okay, so some questions here. What's our take on VeChain? Darren, so just to avoid kind of going through every single altcoin, we definitely recommend you sign up at tokenmetrics.com and just use that to search. You can search in VeChain. It does come with a 14-day free trial, so there's really nothing to lose. So just go to tokenmetrics.com and just search for that.
Right. And we've covered VeChain in our chart packs and newsletters.
Okay. Yeah. So because I'm seeing, so VeChain apparently was hacked, and I think they lost millions of dollars. From a technical perspective, I think that would definitely change things. Okay. Martin is saying, my attention goes to Kava. Hey, Martin, glad to have you here. Thanks for subscribing to Token Metrics. What do you think of Ripple? Ripple is definitely not that good. Without really getting too much into the details, because we've covered that several times before, Ripple is not that good. And our team has kind of gone through and stated exactly why on our platform. Okay, our take on Power. We don't have Power Ledger in Token Metrics yet. I was an early investor in their ICO back in 2017, and man, those were great times. Power Ledger did a 30x return, and I ended up going to Australia and having a large meetup with over 200 people, and also had a chance to meet the Power Ledger team down there. Okay, somebody says VeChain wallet wasn't hacked. I believe a wallet was social engineered. Well, I mean, social engineering is a form of hacking in a way, or rather, it's just theft. Thoughts on Tezos? Tezos has been growing. I mean, our team looked into it. Tezos is one of the higher rated projects. I believe they're in the top 15 in Token Metrics overall, and it's definitely been on a tear. And Bill did also do TA work on Tezos as well this week. Correct, Bill?
Yes, it was in our chart pack.
Okay. Now, without really kind of recapping everything, can you just kind of tell us what Tezos is doing from a TA perspective?
Sure, I can talk about it in general. So institutions got hurt in Matic, right? And we've been doing our research around, okay, so everybody got hurt in Matic, so now what? So what looks like it's been happening is institutions have been FOMOing whatever is going up. So Sterling, stocks, Tezos, Cosmos, right? So, they got wrecked. It's like all these crypto and acronyms. First they FOMO'd into Matic, then they got wrecked. Now they're FOMOing in something else that they think is safer. All right. So we're just watching these rotations, doing the charts, and we're following our research framework, right? Machine learning, human analysis. That's what we're doing.
All right, so let's take some questions here from Menti. Once again, go to menti.com. That's MENTI.com. Use the code 561936. That's 561936. So first question, what happened to Matic Network token dump? I hear CEO and team dumped their tokens after the pump on Binance Exchange. Why are Binance IEOs dumping hard? Good question. I mean, I don't think we'll really truly know. I've been hearing lots of speculation and rumors and people talking online. I do know the Matic Network team has claimed it wasn't anything malicious on their part, But I mean, it's crypto, anything could happen. I've heard people saying that maybe an angry former ex-employee that was laid off could have dumped the tokens. I did read somewhere online about the largest wallet having 3% of Matic tokens was responsible for the initial selling pressure. But to be honest, I haven't really looked much into it because we've been busy building token metrics and kind of doing newsletters. So I don't really know what's fact and what's fiction. But if that's true, if it's a team member or somebody internally, that could make sense, because if somebody's angry because they're laid off and they didn't want to hold the tokens anymore, they just dumped them. I could see that happening. Or maybe a whale investor had tokens unlocked and had capital needs and had to dump them. Bill, now on the newsletter, in the video you sent out to the newsletter, you did kind of cover this. You mentioned that there were no too many people who were in the same position. Can you kind of speak to this?
Sure. So do you remember last year when everyone's like, oh, the institutions are coming. The institutions are coming to save crypto. They're all going to buy and it's going to go to the moon. Well, that may wind up being the case, but for the moment, okay, institutions are involved. They were involved in Matic. So if you bought Matic and got wrecked, so did institutions on a much larger scale. You know, my theory was that whether it was an internal person or not, a token with good technology like Matic doesn't go down 50% because one person was selling. It went down because one person sold, and then that triggered everyone's stops, right? So if everyone is long, okay, who do they sell to? Well, the answer is nobody. So they have to offer prices down until a buyer comes in and goes, hey, look, Matic, that's pretty cheap. I'll take it from you, right? So when everyone has the same position, even if you didn't follow that, when everyone is long, okay, you can have sharp drops. When everybody goes one way, frequently in markets, it goes the other way. And that's probably what happened in Matic.
Wow. So basically a large market sell order that then triggered a cascade effect and hit everybody else's stops.
Right. So, hedge fund, internal person sells, that triggers hedge fund stops. The next thing you know, there's no bid.
All right. So next question. What is your view on proof of work, POW? I think by definition, it will eventually die due to the cost and impact to the environment. Proof of stake, POS, has way more benefits for all involved. In other words, locking up coins for staking. Good question. So we coming up in this week's coming up premium newsletter, we'll be doing a deep dive on Ethereum 2.0. Casper, Ethereum will be switching from proof of work to proof of stake. So Paresh, who's our developer on the team, has gone through and really done, think of it as cliff notes on why on why Ethereum 2.0 is going to be huge. Our team is very, very bullish and excited to see how Ethereum 2.0 will perform. But we think this is going to be huge for crypto because several altcoins are built on Ethereum. Now, for Ethereum to switch to completely proof of stake, and one thing to note as well is Ethereum 2.0 is going to be quantum resistant, quantum secure, meaning that quantum computers will not be able to attack Ethereum. This is something people have been talking about for a while, saying this is really a weakness when it comes to blockchain technology because Bitcoin is not quantum resistant. If IBM or Google or some large entity makes quantum computing available to the masses, then Bitcoin will just become weak like that. So I definitely do agree with you. We think not just from a cost perspective, but security perspective as well. Blockchains that are not quantum resistant, I mean, current blockchains right now that have proof of work, we think they're secure, but long term, they may not be secure because when quantum computing is available to everybody, they can easily be hacked. And then for Bitcoin to go mainstream, it means it has to increase in market cap. It has to get bigger and bigger and bigger. if Bitcoin has to 10x or even 100x from its current point right now, that means it gets more and more expensive. And that means it burns a lot more energy and resources. And the way the environment, the way the world is, people are becoming more environmentally conscious. I think Time magazine just named that kid Time Person of the Year. So this is something that's not really going to change anytime soon. So we think proof of work blockchains could definitely, long term, if anything, I would actually short them long term. But right at this point in time, no. I think Bitcoin as a blockchain, it also will have to change drastically long term. When I say long term, I'm saying 5 to 10 years in the future, because using that amount of energy does not seem like something that will be sustainable in the long term. Any input on that, Bill?
You know, I love talking about this because I feel cool that I understand the difference between proof of work and proof of stake, right? I think you're absolutely right. I think, Ethereum, the guys in charge, I heard Joe, the number 2 guy, talk at South by Southwest. And when you listen to this guy, you're like, oh my God, these guys are going to ride out, Ethereum goes to, 140, 160, 120. They don't care. They don't care. They're building something that will last. And this proof of stake thing, it's up to the technology experts to determine it, but I think it's bold, right? I think somebody who says, I'm going to sacrifice the short term to make sure I'm still here in 10 years, I respect that.
And I think the fact that they have somebody at the helm, a leader, while Bitcoin does not, is really a weakness for Bitcoin. Initially it was a strength, but I think in the long term, not having somebody who can really, not having one throat to choke becomes a problem, because we've seen what happened with the Bitcoin hard forks. There was so much disagreement between the community and getting everybody on the same page that governance was an issue. That's why Tezos was born. Tezos is meant to solve governance when it comes to blockchain, and Tezos has also been on a tear recently. And I think this is something that Bitcoin as a whole will have to solve. Bitcoin had first mover advantage, but that does not always last forever. And now other projects like Ethereum and Tezos and others and Cosmos are moving in and really trying to innovate. And Bitcoin hasn't really innovated in a while. All right, next question. What is your view on Christine Lagarde? Not sure if I'm saying that right. From the European Bank's recent comments regarding cryptocurrencies and specifically stablecoins. How do you think this could impact our space going forward? I think it's huge. So for those who haven't seen the video, she mentioned that central banks all over the world have to really innovate and look at what cryptocurrencies are doing. Not Bitcoin, but specifically stablecoins, because stablecoins, in a way, will destroy central banks. And all these central banks are, in a way, kind of shaking in the boots because they realize that they have to innovate. Otherwise, they're done, because the consumer now wants innovation. The consumer wants the currency to be global, the currency to be digital. And if nobody's doing that, they'll go to Bitcoin or they'll go to stablecoins. And stablecoins now have a actual utility, because you can send you can send Tether or other stablecoins halfway across the world for fractions of the cost that it takes to send a wire transfer. And now we have other governments also creating their own stablecoins. We have China saying they're looking to create a digital currency, and other currencies out there, even Venezuela. So we think this is something big, and we think this is positive for the space, because it starts small. If governments around the world can just begin with stablecoins, that's a win for crypto. That means that they're saying, yes, cryptocurrencies are valid, and we think this is the future. And then from there, as people become more educated, as stablecoins become more widely used, it's only natural that other cryptocurrencies, non-stable coins, will also start to get more adoption. What's your take on this, Bill?
All right. So I have an interesting view on this. All right. So say a central bank issues a stable coin, right? I mean, it's not an armored car. They don't put the stable coins in a truck and deliver it to a bank. So the question is, how does the consumer get the central bank's stable coin? Well, the answer is simple. You have to open an account with the central bank in order to get the stable coin. That's why China loves the idea, right? Because everyone's got to have an account with the government. The government is their bank, so the government controls everything. Now, why do I love this idea of a stable coin? Well, so a 25-year-old person opens up an account with the central bank and he gets his stable coins, whatever the currency is. He or she gets the stable coins. One of the first things they're going to do is go, how can I get rid of these stable coins and buy Cosmos? How can I use these stable coins to turn around and buy Ether? Right. So if the central banks get into the crypto ecosystem, they're going to validate a whole new foreign exchange world. You can go to an airport and exchange dollars for yen, right? Any airport, right? Can you imagine a world where it was like that with crypto, where I could go from like the ECB stablecoin to Ethereum or Decred or whatever altcoin or whatever big coin is out there? So the day the sovereigns get involved, yes, they would exert a little bit of control, but they would also be validating the ecosystem. So that's how I'm, that's sort of like the professor, smoke your pipe tobacco in the library type of viewpoint on that.
Yeah, that's cryptotherapy.
Right.
I mean, and I think the added pressure of Facebook, people, I know Facebook is very polarizing in the crypto space because it's centralized. They like to monitor people. They're against privacy and all that. But I think Facebook launching Libra has added immense pressure on all the central banks and said, because basically they now see that Facebook is trying to kill their business and they may not be around if Facebook is successful. So now I think they've all really tried to fight against Facebook, but they know even if they win, this will be a temporary victory. Some other large currency, whether Telegram, Ton, or some other cryptocurrency, will try to do the same thing, or even Tether or some other stable coin, or even the Chinese digital currency coming out. So now they realize that you have to innovate, otherwise you're dead. Otherwise you go the way of the dinosaurs. And I think that added pressure is positive for the crypto space as a whole, regardless of what you think about Facebook Libra. I think that added pressure, they're feeling the heat. They feel the pinch, and now they have to innovate. All right. Now I believe Bill, you're almost time for you to wrap up. Any last words you have for our audience?
You know what, folks? Just protect yourself short term so you can have a sane, happy holidays. Okay. We do wish that the governments and Facebook can duke it out, because the ultimate winner of that fight will be the existing cryptocurrency market that we hold near and dear to our hearts. All right. And thanks for tuning in today. Ian, thanks for having me. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Take care. Okay. All right. So I'm going to hang on here for a bit to answer any last questions that we may have. Let me take a look here. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. All right, let me share this. Let me share my screen real quick. All right, so no more questions here on menti.com. If you have any questions, just go to menti.com. Use the code 561936. That's 561936. Let me check out where was I? Sorry. Okay, I guess it was in my app here. Okay, so what other questions do you have? Hi, Crypto Wolf, how are you? Hey, Jay. All right, hey, King Nick, thanks for watching. All right, guys, so how's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's having fun. for those who saw the newsletter, this month is definitely a cautious month. I mean, it's been a long 2 years in the crypto space, a long or rough 2 years, but we're still optimistic. There's still opportunities. There's still opportunities to make money, and our team is working hard to make sure we find those opportunities. Okay, so let me pull up tokenmetrics.com. Sorry, just give me a second here. I have a bunch of screens here. Okay, so once again, to join, just go to tokenmetrics.com, sign up. If you have any questions, contact our customer support. Our team has been responding to questions typically within 6 hours or so on average, and we've been resolving issues or closing tickets in less than 1 day. So we definitely have been speeding things up. If you have any questions, just go there. We also have our, that's not what I want. Sorry, I have so many pages here. Also go to help.tokenmetrics.com to search for any questions you may have. We would say 50% of the questions we receive can be answered by just searching here in the help section. So if your question is about the 14-day trial, just search for that, then boom, that tells you that. Or if you want to know how to sign up, search for sign up. It shows you how to sign in, how to sign up in Tokenmetrics. We even have nice screenshots walking you, hand-holding you through everything, because we're all trying to go to the moon together. And then we've been listening to people's feedback. So if we go to feedback.tokenmetrics.com, you can submit feedback, whether it's a bug, a question, IEOs for us to look at, tokens for us to look at, future requests or ideas. These are the current submissions. So as mentioned before, we're planning to create a SEC licensed robo-advisor, pending SEC approval, obviously, which takes a long time and lots of legal paperwork and fees and all that stuff, and portfolio recommendations. So adding tokens, this has been resolved. There's still some glitches we're taking care of, but for the most part now, if you go to Tokenmetrics portfolio, you can add tokens. There's still some issues where some tokens are not loading, but I think mainly my investments and portfolio allocation tabs might not be working for some people. Some people it's working for some it's not working. So our team is working on that. But portfolio growth and portfolio strategy should be working. This is just a dummy portfolio I have in here, but this is really meant to help give you an idea of how your portfolio is doing. This is a free feature to anybody, even those in the basic plan. So I definitely recommend you sign up. This is a great way to track your portfolio in crypto. And this shows you, this is showing all time for the tokens. We have an issue where it's hard to show calculated metrics for every single person because the processing power is insane. But this shows you all-time growth, alpha, Sharpe ratio for the different cryptocurrencies in your portfolio. And this lets you zoom in by timeframes. Now, because this feature just launched recently, we deployed this, I think, around Thursday or Friday. So ignore the data before that. So but as time goes by, we'll have data for past days. But I think so far so good. The comments have been pretty good on that. If we go back to this, yeah, so that's been marked complete. One question I do have for everybody. Let us know if you would like us to, this was something new we just added today. Let me do newest. Not that. Yeah, so let us know if you want us to add index funds based on grades, meaning that we create index funds based on the overall grade, the fundamental grade, technology, and technical analysis. So if we go to ratings, so kind of like how you have the S&P 500 or you have the Dow Jones, where you have the top 30 cryptocurrencies, the top 30 stocks based on market cap, we're thinking of creating index funds that we can having a platform and people can track and monitor that have different metrics. So for example, one could be the top 10, top 20, top 25 cryptocurrencies based on overall grade. Then we could have one for that would call maybe Token Metrics fundamentals, that has the best projects purely based on fundamentals. Then would have one for technology, would basically track and follow the best projects based purely on technology and code reviews. Then same thing for the traders, would have one for TA, for technical analysis, and also one for overall grade. So that would basically be 4 indexes, maybe even adding a 5th one, maybe one that has the opposite, the projects with the worst grades. So think of this as the Token Metrics shorting index. So basically tell you what projects are good candidates to short, and that would factor in probably fundamental grade, technology, and technical analysis. So anyway, that's kind of that. Let us know if you think that's something of value. We just added that today, so you can go in there and vote on that. And yeah, so let me take a look here and see if we have any new questions. Any promotions for your professional plan? Half the price, it would be nice. And unfortunately, well, if you subscribe to the professional plan right now, it's already half off if you subscribe to the yearly plan. And if anything, we actually are thinking and probably do plan to remove the free trial on the professional plan. It was basically there as a promotion since we were just launching. So once again, these are the different plans available. So the professional plan, if you subscribe for 1 year, you get half off. So as opposed to paying almost $4,800 a year, you pay $2,400 a year. So that shrinks from 400 bucks a month to 200 bucks a month, basically. And right now we already have lots of people on the plan. It's been pretty active, surprisingly. So in terms of popularity, people have really been, it's basically kind of been spread out between the professional plans, the investor plans, a few in the hodler and basic plan. Most people aren't really going for the hodler. They're usually going for basic or the investor or professional. I guess just because the way the market is, people want to, what people have been telling us is they think most of the gains in the large cap coins have already been achieved, and they want to find the low cap coins that have potential for high growth. So that's why the investor plan has been very popular. But guys, this is already half off, and this will not be half off forever and ever. So probably after this month, so next month, early next year, we'll start to remove the discounts. But right now, if you're watching the live stream, if you use the code CryptoFamily, that's one word, all capital letters, that will give you 10% off of any order. So just use that code CryptoFamily. That's a nice Easter egg for those watching the live stream. Use that code to get 10% off of any order. And so, by the way, the newsletter. So this is part of the hardware plan. So premium news and videos. So we send out these newsletters every week. So the last week we sent out about 2 or 3 emails, I believe. And so far the feedback has been phenomenal. So we'll definitely keep that going. So we have Bill typically doing, so the last video for Altcoin Friday was about 10-minute video of him going through Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some altcoins like Matic, VeChain, Cosmos, Neo, and also Canaan, which is a mining coin trading in the, I believe, the Canadian stock market. It's a crypto mining company. But I mean, the premium news is really where it's at. So unfortunately, we cannot give any discounts away from that. The professional plan is the professional for a reason. We have to keep it small. We can't have everybody in it. But I mean, the group of people we have in there is phenomenal. It's a good network. Right now, we have about 30 people in a network or so, from people who run large crypto funds people who do quant research, people who are students. So we have one person who's a PhD researcher for VR. We have traders, we have entrepreneurs, we have developers. We have people from all walks of life. I mean, for me, it's definitely my favorite plan. But because it's so good, we can't have so many people on the trial for that. So the trial for that is likely going to end soon. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Okay, next question. Which courses would you recommend to take online to learn everything in crypto? Good question. I haven't really taken any courses in crypto. I mean, I would recommend books. I would recommend taking the books from called Digital Gold and the Age of Cryptocurrency. You can find those on Amazon. You can find them as audiobooks on Audible. Those are the books I read when I got into the space. If you want to learn technology perspective, I definitely recommend Ivan on Tech's Tech Academy. He has a course for the developers for programming. I recently did an interview with Ivan on Tech for the 100X show, which will be launching. We'll be publishing that interview probably in the coming week or so. Will be posted here on our YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed to the Token Metrics YouTube channel. For those of you watching this on Twitter or on the podcast or on my personal channel, Diary of a Made Man. So for those watching on Diary of a Made Man, you're definitely missing out on content. We post more content on the Token Metrics YouTube channel itself. So definitely make sure you subscribe there. And speaking of podcast, we've rebranded our podcast to the Token Metrics podcast. Just go to tokenmetrics.com/podcast or click the podcast button. You can get our crypto insights on the go. So on Spotify, on Apple, on Google. So all the content we create, even these live streams, we have a sound engineer who gets the live streams, edits them to make them more consumable as a podcast. So you can listen to this on the go, whether you're working out, you're commuting, you're driving to work, or you're on the train or the bus, or you're walking, you're working out, whatever, get your crypto on. You'll have us everywhere with you, learning token metrics, because having information makes a huge difference. And yeah, so the Ivan on Tech interview will also be available as a podcast. So we're back to doing the podcast. We'll be putting a lot more effort into it. Okay, in terms of any other courses, we don't really have any other courses to recommend. I would say, we watch our YouTube channel. We're also, just think of us as a course. So we also do plan to create our own courses. In the meantime, we're doing a video every 1 or 2 weeks. So for those of you who are subscribed to Token Metrics, once again, the premium newsletter, last week, Bill sent out a video on active portfolio management. So basically whether buy or hold works in crypto. That was about 7 minutes long or so. So we'll have Bill on our team doing a lot more videos. And then we'll package these videos and turn them into a course eventually. And these are the kind of videos that are evergreen, that they're timeless, regardless of how the market is doing, whether it's bullish or bearish. It's knowledge that everybody will need to learn, and it's timeless. It's everlasting. Okay, all right. Next question. Coupons for your plans for live streamers. Once again, the coupon is Crypto Family, one word, Crypto Family, all caps, all capital letters. That gets you 10% off. Okay, I missed the surge of crypto in 2017. Am I too late in terms of making money? No, I don't think so. So earlier this week, we had a almost 2-hour-long webinar where our team dived into really the future of crypto, why we think crypto is going to be big, and why we think token metrics and robo-advisors and research for crypto is needed. We sent out the video to those who subscribed. I mean, anybody, even those on the basic plan, should have gotten the webinar. If you did not, you can just go to, let me pull this up, tokenmetrics.com/webinar. This is 1 hour, 48 minutes long. This is the recording of the whole thing. And one of the slides we had in there was, it's still early. Let me see if I can find it here. It's still early. It's still early in crypto. Okay, maybe I cannot find this. Okay, I think it was a lot earlier than this. But anyway, you guys can go through and watch this maybe at your own time. Okay, yeah, here's a slide. So according to the World Economic Forum, they anticipate that 10% of the global GDP will be held in the form of tokenized assets by 2027. Think about that for a second. 10% of the world's GDP, gross domestic product, in terms of how much money the global economy as a whole is making, will be in tokenized assets. So taking the projected GDP for 2019, that's about $9 trillion will be basically in crypto, in tokenized assets. And then the Royal Bank of Canada has also stated that they believe that cryptocurrency and blockchain technology is a $10 trillion ecosystem. So we have two different entities, both well-respected globally, saying that the cryptocurrency market is going to end up being about $9 to $10 trillion. So if we take the current crypto market cap right now, it's around 200 billion or so, 225, 250, it fluctuates. But that means we have room for 40x growth to go from 200 billion to 9 or 10 trillion. That would mean that's a 40x return if you invested in the whole crypto market as almost as an index fund. That's a 40x return on your money, or 40x growth. So crypto still has room for growth. There's still lots of opportunity. It's not too early. Because when I joined the space, I thought I was late, but I mean, that was not the case. And then when I joined the space, I asked the same question to a friend of mine who has a crypto fund out in LA. And he told me when he got involved, before the Ethereum ICO, because he was an investor in the Ethereum ICO, he thought he was late, and he was not late at all. So the fact is, crypto is still young. There's still lots of room for growth. I highly encourage anybody watching this to watch this webinar. Just go to tokenmetrics.com/webinar. This link is not up on the site because it's meant to be a private link, but since you guys are watching this live stream and the question came up, it's a nice Easter egg. So definitely go watch this webinar. So crypto has room for growth. So in my opinion, I don't think you've missed the boat. You just have to be ready. The space is getting more and more mature. So taking advantage of those opportunities is becoming tougher and tougher. As we cover in the webinar, you're now competing with larger investors, with trading bots, with institutions, with quant funds. Because according to PwC, in 2018, quant funds dominated the market. Bitcoin went down 72% in 2018. Meaning that while everybody was losing money, quant funds had 8% profit. They made money in a bear market. And these people have the best resources in the world. They have developers, engineers, quants, algorithms, software, all that, machine learning. How does the average investor compete with that? The thing is, you can't compete. This is why even on Wall Street, robo-advisors are trending up, because the average investor realizes that. So if this is why Tokenmetrics was made, right? So if you go down here at the bottom, one of our sayings is, machines are taking over investing. And many people are being left behind because they cannot compete. They don't have the technology, the resources, the power. And that's why we created Tokenmetrics, to give the average investor the same technology so that they can harness the power of machine learning without being a developer to become a better crypto investor. So you can come in here, go to Token Metrics, and we're giving you the same technology. We spend our own money to build this platform and made it easily accessible to anybody without you having to run your own crypto fund, without having you be a developer learning to code and do machine learning. We're doing it for you. This is something that's easily consumable. Then we also have our human team, the human capital, Bill with his weekly emails, really giving you his insights, bringing his Wall Street background and expertise to give you analysis on the crypto market, having Paresh doing deep dives on the code of projects, and then me and Sam doing fundamental analysis on cryptocurrencies, because this is how you compete against those large funds without having the same resources. We're making something accessible to everybody, and so far so good. The responses have been great. We're always open to more feedback as usual, so definitely let us know at feedback.tokenmetrics.com. So to answer your question, there's still time. There's still time, but you have to have the right tools, because now you're competing with the big fish. And to compete with the big fish, you either have to be a big fish yourself or partner with a big fish. So you can partner with us at tokenmetrics.com. Okay, all right, next question. Can you add courses to Token Metrics in the future on trading? Yes, so we're definitely thinking of doing that. That's something we're working on. For now, I would recommend just subscribe to Token Metrics and follow our weekly newsletter, because Bill does a great job going through giving insights on trading, and we're also building a trading course with Bill. So right now we're doing a video every 1 or 2 weeks. The last video we put out was on active portfolio management. We have some other videos coming out as well. The main thing is we're trying to find a nice course platform for us to offer the course. We would prefer to use a platform that's open source. 2 people have recommended Kajabi as a course platform, but Kajabi, the pricing doesn't really work out, especially if we scale to large numbers. So we would prefer something open source, because open source is free and is tested and tried by the community. And yeah, but it's definitely something we have in the works. So if you have any suggestions or anything you'd like us to add in the course, just go to Token Metrics. Okay, what do I have so many? Sorry, I have so many here. Just go here and submit anything else you'd like us to add in the course, or we can just even say create a Token Metrics course or academy and have the community vote on this. So if more people in the community want us to create this, we'll move this up in order in terms of priority of things to create. All right, so next question. Okay, so questions on Menti are finished. Let me take a look at YouTube and see if we have any questions there. Hey, DJ Dukes is saying, hey, Ian, DJ from the Boogie Down Bronx. Boogie Down Bronx, that's what's up. I'll check it out, brother. Thank you, Circle Crypto. Martin BKK. The whole market dropped 90%. That's crypto. Bloodluster is saying, Ian, you lost me 90%. Well, I'm not sure how one person can lose you 90%. Because guys, don't forget, as we always say, always do your own research. We're not putting a gun to your head and forcing you to buy crypto or buy a particular cryptocurrency. Just because we're bullish on a cryptocurrency and we invest our own money and make money or lose money does not mean we're forcing anybody else to invest. It's just anybody who's a mature adult knows that when they take an action, they're taking it on their own volition. We don't want to belittle our audience and say that they're automatons and they can't think for themselves. I mean, our audience is smart. Our audience is capable of reasoning and coming to their own conclusions and doing their own research. They don't just blindly invest. I mean, if somebody did blindly invest, then unfortunately, that's just a lesson somebody has to learn. I mean, you should always, I mean, like for me, when I invest in something, I invest in it and I hold myself accountable to the results no matter what happens. I don't blame it on Bill. I don't blame it on anybody else, because here's the thing. If you deflect blame to somebody else, that means you don't have the power to fix it. So that means you're forever a prisoner to that person. So I don't want anybody to blindly follow me, to blindly follow us, to even blindly follow tokenmetrics.com. Because if somebody else has the power, how do you get better? How do you fix it? I mean, now I know this may be hard for some people to process, because not everybody can think like that. But I would say, I mean, actually, I think we have a song for this.
Don't take the L. Never taking no L's if the Lord helps.
That's called Don't Take Any L's. But I mean, as an investor, I mean, we're all adults. If you invest money in something and you take an L, that's your L. I mean, I lost money on Sparkster. That's my L. I've lost money in lots of projects. Those are my L's. Those are not anybody else. I mean, I don't even blame the projects for those L's, because, like, take for example Sparkster. I mean, Sparkster, I put in what, 150 Ether at that time. How much money was that? Like, it was over 90 grand, I think. I lost on Sparkster. Went down the toilet. But despite that, I don't blame Saj, the CEO, or whatever. Yes, they scammed us. They lied to us. You know, I hope the SEC goes after them. But regardless of that, I don't blame them. I blame myself for being suckered, for not being smart enough, for not doing my homework, not doing my due diligence. Because I don't blame them, because I blame myself, that means the onus is on me to fix my mistakes. So that means I went out there, did more homework, got better, took the Series 65 investment advisor exam, took those classes, hired a better team, hired Bill Noble, Paresh Mansani from Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, because that's how I got better, because the onus was on me to improve. If I had just said, man, Saj is a scammer, it's his fault, I would never have improved like that. I would just remain the same, which would mean that I'll keep taking more L's in the future. So that's kind of my perspective. That's the way I view it. But anyway, let's see here. As for the L's, we hold them ourselves. Yep. Resistance, yeah, resistance is an L too. I mean, he definitely scammed me for sure. I'm going through some legal issues with him. I'll just stop there. What about Tika 5 coins? I've not looked at anything from Tika. Hey, James, thanks for joining the live stream. I'm glad you like the portfolio. Hey, Martin, thanks for joining. Jay DeFrancisco, don't whine at Ian for losing your money. You're an adult. I lost on Sparkster, but it was my choice. Take responsibility for your own losses. I mean, well said. I mean, but I'll add to that by saying people lost money on Bitcoin, guys. Don't forget that, guys and girls. I mean, people complaining about altcoins going down 90%. I mean, even Bitcoin, even Ethereum lost a bunch of money. I mean, let me pull up Bitcoin here in Token Metrics. Let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. Because people think that they lost money on altcoins, but you probably would have gotten wrecked on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as well. So if we go here to Bitcoin and we go to performance metrics, let's see here. Actually, it might be better if I compare this versus Ethereum. Okay, so here we're looking at Bitcoin. Yes, Bitcoin has been outperforming Ethereum for the last over 1 year or so. I mean, so people got into Ethereum at 1,400. That was the top. Ethereum now is at $140, 143. That means you lost 90% on Ethereum, guys. I mean, so what people are getting mad about other altcoins, but even Ethereum is down 90%. So if you put that in perspective, most people lost money on everything. I mean, it was tough to make money. But I mean, we still made money in 2018 because we still had good investments for those who followed us, like Mainframe, Loom Network, PundiX. PundiX was the best performing investment in 2018. And then this year, Matic Network. Those who got into Matic Network, Elrond, what else? Harmony. I mean, and for those who got into Haven a while back, even though I got out of it and called it a bad investment because they changed terms, but Haven Coin rebranded to Synthetics. And that's, I've been told, one of the best performing coins. It's now top 40 market cap. So, I mean, there's still ways to make money. But don't forget, people complaining about Sparkster and all that. I mean, Ethereum is down 90% from all-time high. I mean, so people lost money all across the board. So put that in perspective. Electronium is silently growing. Are you keeping an eye on it? No, we're not keeping an eye on it. Let me take a look. So we do have it in here, and we're bearish on Electronium from fundamental and technology perspective. So can't really comment much on it. So if you're in it, I would say just view it as a trade, as a short-term trade. Be cautious with it long-term. But long-term, I'm not particularly bullish on Electronium. When are you coming to London? Oh man, London town. I love London. I'm not sure. Hopefully sometime in 2020. We are thinking of doing a Token Metrics World Tour. So bringing back the World Tour, but under the Token Metrics umbrella and brand. Not doing as many locations as before. So definitely not 35, not 30 countries like last time, but probably more a few cities in each continent. And London will definitely be one of them. So that's something we're planning, we're thinking into doing. The locations we think would host it. We think London, Sydney, Australia. Man, I love Australia. For Asia, most likely we would do probably Singapore, I think. Singapore has a huge crypto community, so probably Singapore. For Africa, probably Lagos. Probably Lagos, Nigeria. South America, we would probably do it in probably Buenos Aires, Argentina. Oh, by the way, speaking of Crypto World Tour, I'm sorry I've not yet gone to Toronto, Canada, to TDOT, to the 6th, and I have yet to go to Mexico. So those are two locations still on the list. I know they have huge crypto ecosystems, so I definitely want to make sure I check them out. Because I've done Vancouver, Canada, but I've not done Toronto. And Toronto, I mean, I hear Toronto is a city that keeps on winning. I don't know anybody who's taken an L in Toronto. So Toronto is definitely on the list. I've always had to push things back or cancel. Earlier this year, we got invited to the Futurama conference in Toronto. I think that was around maybe August, but we couldn't make it. But Toronto is definitely on the list as a place we have to go to. But yeah, If we missed any locations, let us know at feedback.tokenmetrics.com. But prior to doing the world tour, we may just do maybe like an online conference or something where we'll have us and our team and maybe some other people, other influencers, other analysts do like a one-day conference, kind of do an MVP and see if that's well received. If that's well received, then maybe we'll take that same concept and bring it in person. But the conferences would likely be mainly for, yeah, I would say, okay, maybe not just for Tokenmetrics subscribers, but maybe for everybody. Maybe we'll keep it open for everybody. But that's something we're definitely are thinking about. London is a great city. How to become an advisor with no experience? That's tough. That's tough. I mean, if you're saying with no crypto experience, that's possible because companies hire advisors for other expertise. So you may not have crypto experience, but if you've worked in a particular industry, that could be something a company needs. So if you're a developer, they could hire you for developer experience. Or if you are an investor, they could hire you for investing experience. Or if you're a lawyer, they could hire you for legal counsel. Or if you're an accountant, they could hire you for accounting advice. So, I mean, my guess is if assuming you're an adult and you've lived on Earth for a period of time, you have gathered some experience or expertise in something. Whatever that expertise is in, that can be leveraged by a project. I mean, assuming you have a job, whatever your job is, your day job is, whatever you use to make money to put food on the table for yourself, maybe your family, that is something that can be leveraged as an advisor. So I definitely recommend, one book I do recommend, read the book Angel by Jason Calacanis. Let me pull that up here. Angel. So I read this book. He kind of walks you through how to become an advisor. So it's called Angel, How to Invest in Technology Startups, Timeless Advice from an Angel Investor Who Turned 100,000 into 100 million. Great book. It's available as an audiobook as well, also on Kindle. And he goes in there in terms of if you can invest, how to find good companies and offer them your services as an advisor. So it's definitely a book I highly recommend. I mean, I would give it 5 out of 5 stars. So, and rarely do I give a book 5 out of 5 stars. So you know it's Ian Belina approved. When am I coming to Dublin, Ireland? I've not been to Dublin, Ireland yet, but if there's any crypto event going on, a conference, if you invite me, if there's some kind of event you want me to speak at, and you guys take care of the travel costs, meaning the flight and the hotel, hey, I'm there. I am there. So just email my team. Just email info@tokenmetrics.com, or just email Ian@tokenmetrics.com, put together a proposal, and we'll take a look. We're definitely open to traveling. Do you think we'll find icons with Tokenmetrics? Well, I mean, obviously nothing is guaranteed. In my opinion, I think it's possible because we're doing the same thing we're doing with the research back then, but now the research is deeper. Now we're looking at a lot more data points. So we think in our opinion, we can find good projects. Now, whether we'll find the next icon, because icon was 100x return. I believe the 100x returns are not really there at the moment. They're harder to find. Now the 100x returns have been replaced by leverage trading, but I don't recommend leverage trading because people can get wrecked trading on leverage. I think what's really possible, similar to what happened with synthetics. So we have it here. So the market cap is now over 200 million. And let's pull this up here. So if we go to the performance metrics, I mean, look at this, guys. The return versus Bitcoin. Cumulative return, over 400%. So this is just from August of this year. Wow. So, I mean, we think the returns are still definitely there. I mean, this has really blown away most cryptocurrencies in terms of performance. I mean, look at this versus Bitcoin. So, hold on, let me just take a look here. Most of the returns came in the prior 3 months. I think at least that's when we began tracking it here. And looking at this one, I mean, right now it's showing bearish. Fundamentals not so good, but technology is good. I mean, so we think anything is possible. So never say never. But to say 100x returns, I would say yes, but the time frame will be a lot longer because Icon was 100x. Icon and Wabi were 100x returns in just 4 months. That's not really happening anytime soon in crypto. If anything, 100x returns could be in 2 years or even longer. Now, maybe once in a while, you have projects like Synthetics and others that come out and do well. So for example, we have some IEOs we like. Don't want to share it because that would be unfair to the people who are subscribed to Token Metrics because they want to have that information because they're paying for that information. It would be unfair to make it free by showing it here. But definitely recommend you sign up at tokenmetrics.com. We do have a 14-day free trial, so nothing to lose. And there is one IEO we are bullish on. I mean, compared to most IEOs, mainly from a technology perspective. So if we look at technology grade, actually, hold on, let me just pause this so I can take a look and I don't misspeak. Yeah. So actually, speaking of it, so speaking of technology grade, we have a project we have found that when it launches, the technology grade for this project would make it the 3rd best project out there, purely from a technology perspective, meaning purely from the code, meaning it will be 3rd after Bitcoin and Ethereum, meaning it has better technology than Binance, better technology than Matic, than Cardano, than Synthetics. This could be an opportunity to really do well. Now the fundamentals are not there because, well, hold on, let me not misspeak again. They're not quite there like other projects. The fundamentals are like a 67, but the technology grade itself is over 90. So fundamentals of a 67, I mean, that would definitely put it down there, but it's an IEO. We think it's going to do an IEO or it's going to go straight to exchanges and have a listing. But the overall grade though is this is not factoring in the TA. This is just purely on fundamentals and the technology, but the overall grade is over an 80%. So that would make it the 3rd best project out there. And this is something our subscribers, those in the investor plan and above, they've had about a week or so to read our analysis and report on this project. And I mean, that's really the power of research. So going back to your question, is the next Icon possible with Token Metrics? I mean, we can't really predict the future, but if it is possible, we will find it. That is our job. That's our duty. And right now we have found what we think is a great project. I mean, for a project based on our current scoring system, now obviously this changes every single day, every week, every month with more data. The machine learning models will be updated. But right now, based on our analysis, this project is really a top 5 project, and it hasn't even launched yet. Now, they did raise equity, and they might have done a private sale as well, almost over a year ago. Now, we have covered it before in the past, but not so much. But I mean, right now, based on just purely the technology and the fundamentals, but mainly the tech is what's bringing this project up. This will be ranked 3rd on our grading system. And we think this is a legit project. I mean, it has partnerships with Fortune 500 companies and with large government entities. So, I mean, if there's ever a chance to possibly find the next big investment, we think we may have found it. And stay tuned. We do plan to put out a in-depth investor report on both the technology and the fundamentals this month to those who are subscribed on the Hodler plan and above. But yeah, I mean, stay tuned. That's really all I can say. Okay. Are you still bullish on Casper Labs, and when are they going to launch? That's also an IEO we have looked into. We did regrade it. Let me just pause here and go and look into the score. Tech-wise, we're also bullish on Casper Labs. Without really giving away too much, because once again, the IEOs are for the paying subscribers and don't want to be unfair to them. But Casper Labs, it's looking at just the overall grade, it would definitely be one of the more high caliber projects. It would be in the top 20 for sure, grade wise. Technology wise, Casper Labs would be top 10 technology wise. Fundamentals are not quite there because it hasn't launched. It's still very, very early. It's still really in the experimental phase. So we would say it's definitely not ranked as high as the other project we talked about. But we have posted a video on our channel, on the YouTube channel, on Casper Labs, Paresh doing a developer review, a code review. But the fundamental analysis review and report has been postponed until they have more traction and they launch, because it's way too early to really do much. But I mean, they're competing with Ethereum 2.0. Now, based on the current score, would we touch it? I mean, we had an opportunity to invest. We passed on it just based on the long lockup. It's something we would rather keep our money and wait for that to trade on exchanges. Then we have a better idea of when to get in. But I mean, it's definitely a project on our radar. I would definitely have that on our watch list, because when it does launch, it is going to be a top 20 project grade-wise on tokenmetrics.com. That's also available. The rating right now is available on the site for those who have subscribed. Okay, next question. What business in blockchain do you think could be unique? A problem that hasn't been solved. Oh, wow. A problem that hasn't been, I mean, if you look at blockchain, most problems have not yet been solved yet fully at scale. Blockchain is still early. I mean, even what Bitcoin is doing has not fully been solved yet, because even Bitcoin still has growing pains and issues and challenges it's trying to resolve. But I mean, just building a blockchain that's fast and works and scales to the masses. I mean, Ethereum is trying to do that with their smart contract and virtual machine, but even Ethereum has not fully scaled. So I would say every business right now that is unique, every business right now still has a need. I mean, even just stable coins. Stable coins, yes, they can be used, but just having a global currency around the world you can use as easily as cash. Having a digital currency you can use as easily as cash. I mean, Facebook Libra is trying to solve it. They're trying to take it to over 2 billion users Facebook has. So I would say just taking crypto to the mainstream, taking crypto to the masses, to the whole world, banking the unbanked. That hasn't really been solved yet. That's what crypto is trying to solve, but we're still early, as we mentioned before. We're still trying to solve those challenges we have. So nothing has really been solved. Now, do you become an angel investor? Not sure if you meant how do you become an angel investor? I mean, so I am an angel investor myself. I invest in blockchain companies, typically for tokens. This year, I did make my first equity investment, which is a company called Alchemy Network. They're part of Techstars incubator. If you go to our site and you go here to disclosures, we have our holdings and also our investments. Where is it? Alchemy Protocol is a company I invested in. Most of our investments are typically done through 100x Advisors, which is our blockchain investment and advisory firm. How do you become an angel investor? Read that book I mentioned earlier. It's called Angel, How to Invest in Technology Startups. It walks you through how to become an angel investor. That's the best book. This book and the other book I would recommend is HBR, the Harvard Business Review, How to Buy a Small Business. It's also a good book. I would also give this 5 out of 5 stars. Read those 2 books. This shows you how to buy company. This is more about local small businesses. So buying a restaurant, buying an agency, businesses that aren't really liquid. This is more about private equity. They walk you through how to, whether you want to form your own fund and partner with other investors, or whether you want to do it on your own. They walk you through the research process and how everything is done. Highly recommend. I listened to the audiobook. Those 2 books, I would recommend it if you want to learn more about becoming an angel investor. How would you grade Digibyte? Any thoughts? Yes, I would say check out tokenmetrics.com. I mean, guys and girls, there's a 14-day free trial, so you can definitely check it out. Then after the free trial, if you like it, I highly recommend you subscribe, because as we mentioned before, having the right research, even in a bear market, helps, because it tells you what's legit, what's not legit, because we're looking at several data points. We're looking at fundamentals, technology, and technical analysis. And we also have our newsletter. So for example, giving you nice guidance in the market and telling you, hey, Meta Network, it's probably a good time to buy some Christmas presents because this thing, there's too much FOMO. I mean, having the right research, because as Warren Buffett says, rule number 1 of investing, don't lose money. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1, don't lose money. I mean, even Vitalik keeps on winning. Vitalik recently announced via an interview that Ethereum Foundation sold almost $100 million worth of Ethereum at the top of the bull market back in 2017 or early 2018. I mean, they must have had traders telling them, hey, sell the top. This is the top. Cash that now. So having research is crucial. So without really going through every single altcoin, because just in the interest of time, because we're about to wrap up here, I would just say check out tokenmetrics.com. If you still have questions on how to use it, go to our webinar, tokenmetrics.com/webinar. We have an almost 2-hour-long video walking you through the value prop, why crypto is the future, and why it's going to be big, why there's still room for growth, why robo-advisors and investment research is needed in the space, why we think Token Metrics is really unique, and why is something that should be an arsenal in any investor's research kit in terms of really becoming an investor. So if you like video, go through, watch the video. If you don't like video, we also have text. We have like a long report going through the entire reason why machine learning is coming through, why the average investor can't really compete, because they're going up against giants. They're going up against quant funds. And to compete with them, you have to have the best research available. You have to have the expertise. So we bring the human capital with our team from JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. We bring the technology and the software. And more importantly, we're making it accessible to everybody. And then we also have a nice ecosystem. For those in the professional plan, we have a webinar coming up. We have biweekly calls coming up, one on this Tuesday, an hour long with our network. We also have a nice network Telegram group, because your network is your net worth. So being able to network with other like-minded individuals, with our team as well, Bill Noble, go in there, talk about the market, talk about different things, networking, different opportunities. So I definitely recommend you check this out. Okay, I think it's time for us to wrap up here. My thoughts, and let me just see how many questions we have left. Man, so many questions here. Okay, we have 5 questions. Let me see if I can do a quick lightning round. Okay, thoughts on Sidecoin? I would say check out tokenmetrics.com. Is staking dividend coins the next big thing for crypto? I think so. So I have officially began staking again. So disclosure, I got my Helium hotspot. The project is Helium Network, I believe. Helium Network. So I plugged it in and I'm getting coins, helium.com. So I got it a while back, but I was having issues setting it up. I had to like configure my router and firewall, but man, I love it. So I just plug it in. This is the easiest mining thing I've seen in a while. So you just plug it in, hook it up to your router. The only hard thing is you may have to configure your firewall settings to allow the Helium port to access the internet, but you're basically sharing your Wi-Fi connection with other hotspots and other IoT devices that want to leverage the network. And in exchange for that, you get tokens. So right now, I'm earning tokens daily. Well, not tokens, but rather cryptocurrencies daily. Tokens are not trading anywhere yet, to my knowledge, but if they do, I hope they become worth a ton of money, because we are in the business of making money. But I mean, so far I've been impressed. They have a nice mobile app that shows you cryptocurrencies you're earning, how it works. They also have customer support. So if you have any issues, you can contact customer support. Investors in them included Silicon Valley Angel, First Mark, Google Ventures, Union Square Ventures. I mean, I've been pretty impressed. I mean, initially there were some growing pains, but I mean, they've done a good job making updates to their network. So I like it. Okay, next question. Next big trends in crypto, DeFi, decentralized finance, staking, as we mentioned, lending, stablecoins. All these really have the theme of things to look into in a bear market. Excuse me. Things to look into in a bear market, because if things are not going up, you have to have other ways to possibly make your money grow. So lending, DeFi, staking, all those are big trends. Security tokens as well, but more down the line. It's still pretty early. We mainly need to have proper exchanges for them. So I know Coinbase and other exchanges are looking into creating regulated platforms and exchanges for security tokens. T-Zeros has been a colossal failure. It hasn't really done well. I know equity investors in T-Zeros who have been looking to sell their equity positions and get out. So that's why I say it's been a failure when early investors are looking for liquidity and looking to sell at large discounts. It's not so good. And their CEO left because he had an affair with a Russian spy. I mean, so it's basically a hot mess. It's a hot mess. Okay, next question. Facebook Libra coin is listed on CoinMarketCap website. It is? Okay, I would be surprised if Facebook Libra is on there. Oh, wow, okay. I see here. Okay, it's listed here, but there's no price information. So they're just trying to be early and listed whenever it does possibly launch. So I wouldn't read too much into it because it's not launched yet. Would it have been more of a challenge to launch Tokenmetrics during a strong bull market than right now? I think since things are moving slow, it seems easier. Well, I mean, good question. Would it have been? Because in a bull market, everybody's having fun. Everybody's on cloud 9 on the moon. Times are good. But I think the best strategy is to build in a bear market and reap the rewards in a bull market. So that's basically what we've done. Our team has been building in a bear market, bootstrapping, spending our own capital. We did raise a small equity round from some family and friends. But other than that, we've just been building. And we think when the bull market comes, guess what's going to happen? People will need a proper way to research cryptocurrencies. And we think we will have the best research platform out there. Nobody's going to give you fundamental analysis, technology and code reviews, technical analysis, all together, and also give you an actual grade. And we're working towards becoming a USA licensed, regulated, a USA SEC regulated investment advisor. It takes time, so we've not finished the process yet, but pending SEC approval, if we do end up getting that license, that will be a huge qualification and huge really vote of confidence, we think, to show people, okay, we're doing something in the right manner, in a compliant manner. Initially, it will be USA compliant, but we also do plan to go global and see how we can be regulated and compliant in other jurisdictions around the world. And the ultimate vision, if you watch the webinar, go to tokenmetrics.com/webinar. We talk about the ultimate vision. The big vision of Tokenmetrics down the road is becoming a regulated SEC robo-advisor, meaning that this won't be your typical trading bot. This will be leveraging our ratings, our machine learning and software, and it'll be regulated and compliant, because we've heard so many stories of people investing in trading bots in the crypto space that ended up being scams. That's why we think building something the right way in a compliant fashion is the future. The barrier to entry is high and it's tough, but we think if we can achieve this, what Vanguard has done for index fund and mutual funds, we are looking to do the same thing for crypto, because everybody's saying crypto has to go mainstream. Crypto has to go to the masses. Well, the masses, before they even touch crypto, they have to filter out the scams. And we're building a research platform that, one, filters out the scams so they find the right projects to invest in at the right time. And we also tell them when is a good time to get in and when's a good time to get out. We help them with active portfolio management so they don't have to, because not everybody wants to be an active investor or trader. So we're building a platform that caters to both those who want to actively do their own research and get into their own positions, and those who want to have it be passively done. So we think this is the future. So when the bull market comes, we'll be ready. And those of you who are subscribed right now to tokenmetrics.com and our customers, thank you so much for joining us on this mission, because you're here on the ground level. And we strongly believe you will benefit greatly by having this research, because as somebody said, we're looking to find those investments before anybody else. And right now, we believe we have found a great project. As mentioned before, we think this is a top 5 project, even top 3, based on the current grade right now. That's not launched yet. And when it does launch, we think we'll have a head start. And when the bull market comes, hopefully we've made a ton of money. Obviously, investing in cryptocurrencies is risky. Definitely do your research, consult legal and financial advisors and all that stuff. There's a huge risk involved in investing in crypto, but we're hoping to make that a lot easier for people. And we think this is something that can scale globally to the masses. And we think this will be the first platform, and more importantly, the only platform anybody will ever need to invest in cryptocurrencies. Because this is what people need. People need a tool to help them find the right things to invest in. This is why my spreadsheet was very popular back in the last bull market. And we saw that and we said, okay, you know what? This is all the proof we need, because that spreadsheet was being viewed over 1 million times a month. So to me, that showed me people need this. But in its current manner, it cannot scale. So we rebuilt it from the ground up, made it into a dynamic platform, added machine learning, brought in even more experts, added a lot more data points, learned from all the successes, but more importantly, from all the failures and mistakes, and built a better platform. We think this is the future, and now this platform has launched and it's available to everybody. And thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed. I believe we have over 300 customers already, and it's growing and growing. And the manner it has been built is a manner that can scale. It can scale without getting too big. But yeah, I mean, we're very, very excited, and we're glad to have everybody on board. Thank you all for the support. Okay, next question. What are your thoughts on Cliff High? He used to be big a while back, but I haven't really looked much into him since then. All right, that's it. That's basically it. Let me see if there are any other questions on the comments. Hey, Murphy, thanks for joining. Sorry, Murph. Jay DeFrancesco is saying Pi Network. No, I've not looked into that. Yes, Crypto Family, all caps, gives you 10% off on Token Metrics. That's the coupon code, Crypto Family. And thank you, everybody, so much. It's been a pleasure. With that being said, we'll end the show by saying the moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond. Thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you on the other side of the moon. Look out for the email coming up this coming week. For those of you subscribed to our premium newsletter on tokenmetrics.com, we'll give you more insight and we'll be your daily guidance, your weekly guidance in the crypto space. Because don't forget, we're in this together. We have your back. Crypto Family. Take care, everybody.